I was born in 1938 in Santa Monica.
Executive order of President Roosevelt, which then became implemented in 1942. How did that disrupt it?
Well, this is according to my mother. My father said, well, things aren't going very well here in Los Angeles. There was a lot of discrimination now against the Japanese. So he moved us up to Fresno in the Central Valley. He says, Los Angeles is not a good place for Japanese Americans or Japanese. And so we moved there, and we were there about 3-4 months, and then they moved us from the Central Valley to Gila. So he did not escape that internment. One of my classmates, his father was in the Army, and he sent a letter to him, the father to the son, and he took it to class to share. You know, we're sharing things, and the teacher would read the letter, and she read about 2 letters, and then she came to the class one day, and she said the father died, some explosion on a bridge, and that was kind of sad. But that probably stuck with me longer than any other memories I had of camp.
Were there individuals at the camps whose fathers were in the Army?
Yes. The story I told about the classmate, his father was in the Army, and he died in Italy.
So it was separate? I've read a lot about this. Was it a separate Japanese-American division?
Yes.
Were they integrated at all?
No. No, the officers, I've talked to several people that were in there. The officers were not Japanese. The non-commissioned officers were Japanese. The NCOs, the sergeants. I'd like to say a couple of more things.
Sure, please.
We do a lot of traveling, my wife and I, and we were in Peru. There are quite a number of Japanese Peruvians there, and the president Fujimori, Alberto Fujimori, is a Japanese Peruvian. So I asked him, there are a number of Japanese Peruvians here, and he says yes. And he says during the war, the U.S. government came to Peru and said, we'd like to have some of the Japanese Peruvians that may be questionable. And so they turned over some Japanese Peruvians, and they were sent to camp. I didn't know that. And then I remember, maybe 20 years ago, we were in Calgary, and we were going to go down to Montana to cross the border, and there's this town in Canada called Lethbridge, which is right in Alberta, the province of Alberta. And I saw some Japanese, you know, so one of the things that, you know, like this, what camp were you at? But I said, well, these are Canadians. So I talked to this one woman in the store, and I said, there's some Japanese Canadians here. She says, yes. Our family was living in Vancouver. And so when the Americans interned the Japanese Americans, so did the Canadians. And they sent them into the interior of Canada, Alberta, Saskatchewan, so there were some camps there. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
No idea.
So the U.S. is a world leader, you know, and there are other countries that would follow even things that are not legal. It's interesting.